idea that a portal connected to another dimension causes the phenomena that happened on the ranch.
Just last night, after our experiment.
What on earth is that?
The hell is that?
Scientists have finally unraveled the mystery behind the Skinwalker Ranch phenomenon, where strange portals have been observed opening in specific areas. These portals, which appear suddenly and without warning, have left experts baffled for years. Portals on the mesa make things vanish and reappear. People have whispered about it for ages, and now the team set up cameras to catch these insane happenings live. It's crucial to consider simple explanations, like strange land shapes that might trick our eyes. Are these stories just tall tales? Or is something truly bizarre going on? Let's uncover whether we're dealing with myths or mind-blowing realities. Signals in the sand. It's difficult to dismiss the stories that locals tell about the mesa, especially when these accounts have been passed down for generations. They describe unusual activities around the area, which they claim includes specific spots where things seem to appear and disappear. If we assume there might be some truth to these claims, the next logical step would be a closer look at these supposed entry and exit points. While some might laugh off these claims as mere superstitions or exaggerations, the continued discussions and first-hand accounts make it tempting to dig a bit deeper. One could wonder whether setting up cameras and other recording devices might capture anything out of the ordinary, or if it would just show the normal, quiet landscape day in and day out. This kind of systematic study could help determine whether these local tales are based on actual events or are just the creations of vivid imaginations and a love for a good story. As we delve into this exploration, it's crucial to maintain a healthy skepticism. Being too eager to find something can sometimes lead us to see things that aren't really there. Moreover, examining these phenomena in a detailed and methodical way could shed light on whether these patterns are consistent or if they change over time. It would also be interesting to consider the natural explanations for these occurrences, such as environmental or geological factors that could lead to the illusions or perceptions of these phenomena. Keeping an open mind, but also a critical perspective, will be essential as we navigate through the layers of narrative and observation, aiming to separate fact from fiction. By doing so, we might either debunk these long-held beliefs, or perhaps uncover something truly unexpected. Let's think about taking a trip out to the East Field, a big open space, and throwing a 1.6 gram-Hertz signal at it. The idea might seem a bit silly at first. Why are we shooting radio waves at an empty mesa, hoping the ground will somehow talk back to us through our devices? Let's entertain this idea for a bit. We set ourselves up on the triangle side of the mesa, our equipment ready, maybe a bit too hopeful about what we might catch. What are we really trying to find with this data? Are we looking for something unusual hidden under the dirt, or are we just passing time, pretending to be trailblazers in a land of discovery? As we arrange our machines and gear, it's worth considering what this experiment is really about. Sure, we can send out signals and measure them, but what's the baseline? Are we actually discovering anything, or just confirming that an empty field sends back nothing but the expected silence? This exercise of shooting a 1.6 GHz signal into nowhere is as much a test of our equipment as it is of our endurance, and perhaps our tendency to create excitement where there might not be any. Now let's think about what happens if we do find something odd. What then? Does it change how we see the dull mesa? Or is it just a small note in a scientific paper that hardly anyone will read or remember? Our methods might be scientifically sound, but they're almost performative, like we're setting the scene for a big reveal that probably won't happen. We dress up our efforts as serious science, but you have to wonder if we're just playing parts in a story we've made up about breaking new ground in lonely, dusty places. Let's see what the quiet field teaches us today. The science behind the supernatural. So, as we point our antennas at the plain landscape, let's keep our hopes in check. The chance that this trip into the quiet field will change any scientific books is very low. More likely, we'll end the day just as we started, with data that simply shows the East Field, like our lofty dreams, is mostly just space and quiet dirt. Their routine in the field might seem monotonous, but it actually offers valuable lessons. Every measurement they take, every scan of the barren ground, adds a little more knowledge about how such places function. Each hour they spend out there, setting up and then packing up their gear, not only tests their patience but also hones their skills in collecting and analyzing data. They often laugh about the likelihood of finding absolutely nothing, but every time they get no results, it reaffirms their existing theories. It proves that their predictions about the field's behavior are correct. Even the seemingly endless cycle of preparation, scanning, and analysis is crucial. It teaches them persistence and meticulousness, qualities essential for any scientist. Each unsuccessful attempt is not a failure, but a confirmation, reinforcing their understanding of the natural world. And on the rare occasions when they do find something unusual, it becomes a valuable clue, a new to solve that could lead to exciting discoveries. Spending days in such a routine could seem tedious, but it is far from fruitless. The methodical nature of their work ensures that no stone is left unturned, no anomaly overlooked. Every piece of data, no matter how minor it seems, is a building block in their ongoing quest for knowledge. These repetitive tasks, though sometimes lacking in immediate excitement, are crucial in the broader scope of scientific inquiry. They contribute to a larger picture, gradually filling in the gaps of their understanding of the field. Thus, every trip they make to the field, every signal they send and measure, might not yield groundbreaking findings, but it solidifies their grasp on the realities of their research environment. They continue, driven by a blend of curiosity and determination, to send out signals into the void, attentively listening for any sign of change, any hint of something new, always ready to document the expected, yet secretly hopeful for the unexpected. This work, this repeating of tests and trials in the field, connects us back to the very essence of exploration, not always finding new lands, but understanding our own more deeply. Each trip makes us better scientists, more skeptical, more questioning, and perhaps more appreciative of the quiet beauty of a place left mostly untouched by human hands. So we continue, driven perhaps by a mix of curiosity and stubbornness, to send signals into the void, listening intently for any whisper of change, any hint of the unknown, prepared mostly to confirm the expected, yet always hopeful for a surprise. To investigate the Native American stories of portals on Skinwalker Ranch, a plan was set up to use a signal generator. This tool wasn't broadcasting just any signal. It was a specific 1.6 gigahertz radio frequency that had been recorded in previous visits to the ranch under uncertain conditions. The idea was to see if this frequency, when sent out again, could interact with the supposed portal phenomena as described in tribal stories. The researchers chose a specific spot for their experiment, near the base of the mesa, close to a triangular landmark that features prominently in local lore. According to these stories, this is where portals are said to exist, areas where unusual things might happen more frequently. Whether these stories stem from real supernatural events, or are just the product of people's imaginations enhancing natural features, is an interesting question. Now we test old stories with new science, the quest for otherworldly gateways. By employing advanced equipment to send out signals, the team hoped to either provoke or detect something unusual, something that could support the long-standing tales that have intrigued both doubters and believers. However, one has to consider whether the experiment was as much about verifying the existence of these portals as it was about reinforcing our own preconceived notions. After all, finding a response would be intriguing, adding to a narrative that those eager to find proof would support. But we shouldn't overlook the scientific doubt that should accompany such experiments. What if any phenomena observed are just results of normal atmospheric conditions or other identifiable environmental factors? The ranch is known for its high electromagnetic readings, which might interfere with or even create the results of such tests. So, as the signal generator starts up and the frequencies begin to spread across the land of Skinwalker Ranch, it becomes clear we are watching a blend of scientific method and old folklore. Whether this will clarify the old tales or simply add to the confusion surrounding them is yet to be determined. The researchers may be looking for a gateway to another realm, but it's just as likely they are reflecting a common human tendency to find order and significance where there may be none. This experiment is a dance on the fine line between discovery and wishful thinking. If we peel back the layers of technological sophistication and scientific aspiration, at the heart lies a deep-seated human quest to understand the unexplainable aspects of our world. This quest drives us to look for doors where there may be none, to see connections in random events, and to assign profound meanings to the enigma of our environment. As this project unfolds, it underscores not just a scientific, but a profound cultural and existential exploration. Researchers are continuing their studies at a specific area on the mesa, which is the same location where an unidentified aerial phenomenon was observed last year. Coincidentally, this is also the site of an ancient rock carving. As part of these ongoing investigations, a researcher named Eric is positioned at what is believed to be the exit point of the UAP's path across the mesa. Eric is heading directly towards an area that has been referred to as the Triangle. It is critical to highlight that Eric's work relies heavily on using a signal receiver. However, there are concerns about the reliability of this equipment, especially considering that it might not meet the rigorous standards required for scientific testing. This reliance on potentially unproven technology adds an element of uncertainty to their scientific endeavors on the mesa. The validity of these experiments is precariously dependent on several technological assumptions and the stability of equipment in less than ideal outdoor conditions. While the link between ancient artwork and unexplained aerial sightings might offer an exciting story, it prompts one to consider whether we are too quick to connect unrelated events. Could our enthusiasm for linking historical and contemporary anomalies be leading us to see connections that don't actually exist? Further, placing Eric with his signal receiver at a so-called exit point assumes that the path of the UAP can be predicted, and that such an event is likely to occur again under the same conditions, a notion that contradicts the generally unpredictable nature associated with these phenomena. This method seems to ignore the fundamental scientific principle that claims need to be backed by experiments that can be repeated and controlled. While the project is clothed in the language of scientific inquiry, its underpinnings might lean more towards a fascination with the unexplained, the combination of ancient carvings and modern technology. The receiver waiting for a signal from an unknown source might be more about feeding into a narrative of thrilling discoveries rather than uncovering factual information about UAP movements. It raises the question of whether this research, while aiming to be scientific, is possibly driven by a desire for the sensational, guiding us towards a story that is more captivating than factual. Each test gets us closer to understanding. Lost echoes through the ancient mesa. Moreover, the dramatic setting of these experiments at the crossroads of historical artifacts and the enigma of the skies offers a rich tapestry for the imagination, but perhaps muddles the waters of objective study. The presence of the petroglyph might suggest a deeper significance to the site, yet it's crucial to remember that the presence of a rock carving does not necessarily link it to any modern-day phenomena. This approach might lend an air of ancient mystique to the proceedings, but does it advance our understanding, or does it merely dress up an uncertain venture in the robes of certainty? In this narrative, the exploration of known facts, assumptions, and speculative elements is emphasized. The scientific community is encouraged to maintain a critical and evidence-based approach in their investigations, resisting the temptation to be swayed by the allure of unexplained phenomena. This cautious stance is underscored by the experience of a character named Eric, who conducts a signal transmission experiment through what might be an extraordinary pathway, possibly a magical passage through rock. This experiment, designed to test the limits of current scientific understanding, involves meticulous observation and the anticipation of an unlikely response. As Eric sends out a signal, the scenario captures the tension between routine procedures and the potential for groundbreaking discoveries. His anticipation and focused monitoring of the equipment reflect the dual nature of scientific work, expecting the expected while remaining open to the unexpected. This mindset is crucial as the experiment could either reinforce established theories or challenge them, prompting further investigation and debate within the scientific community. The moment of the signal transmission is dramatized with a countdown and an unexpected glitch, adding a layer of immediate intrigue and illustrating the unpredictability of experimental science. This event might lead to new insights about physical barriers and the properties of space, impacting future research directions and discussions. Overall, the narrative frames scientific inquiry as a dynamic and evolving process, driven by both cautious skepticism and the pursuit of new knowledge. This process is not just about confirming existing theories, but also about exploring the fringes of what is known to discover what lies beyond. Next, a surprising turn challenges our tools. When nature defies technology, the chaos escalated as the team encountered persistent problems during their experiment. Each attempt to toggle their equipment resulted in the detection of unintended signals. This anomaly suggested that their setup was somehow capturing echoes of their own actions through the rock formations, an occurrence that defied their expectations and initial understanding. Concerns arose about potential signal interference or a need for more robust equipment shielding. The issue hinted at a deeper, possibly structural anomaly with either their system setup or the unique properties of the mesa itself. This unexpected behavior of the signals stirred a mixture of worry and excitement among the team. Technical discussions unfolded as they delved into the reasons behind the feedback. The possibility that their broadcast was not only transmitting outwards but also being amplified and returned was perplexing. The conversation oscillated between technical assessments and curiosity-driven speculation, exploring whether this feedback was a fortunate discovery or a significant complication. As they progressed, the team transitioned from complex jargon to simpler explanations, aiming to clarify the situation for all involved. They contemplated adjustments to the placement of their equipment, or the potential investment in better shielding to mitigate future issues. Determined not to let this setback derail their other activities, they resolved to continue their efforts to identify and resolve the issue, maintaining focus on their broader research objectives while addressing the immediate challenge. This blend of troubleshooting and determination illustrated their commitment to advancing scientific inquiry, despite unexpected hurdles. The unexpected glitch became a chance for the team to learn and think about how to do better in the future. The initial upset about the broadcast disruption turned into a valuable discussion on how to improve and avoid such issues going forward, turning a problem into a chance for team growth and technical improvement. They realized that facing and solving unexpected problems could help them do even better work in the future. As we walk through the mesa, it might seem pointless to try this again, but let's go ahead and turn the machine on one more time. So can you switch it back on? There, it's running again. Usually, our small RF signal generator wouldn't be expected to work through the solid rock of the mesa. It's simply not strong enough to send signals over such distances, especially with a massive rock formation blocking its path. Yet surprisingly, something seems to be linking these two distant locations. This connection appears around the East Canyon area, and strangely enough, it lines up directly with that triangle-shaped formation in the landscape. You'd expect nothing to happen, no sound, no signal. But here we are, picking up some kind of signal, faint, though it may be. How could any signal possibly get past the thick rock? It goes against what we know about how signals and physical barriers work. Diving deeper into this could disprove many quick guesses, or less likely, it might start a new understanding of how natural settings can affect the technology we create, but we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves. As of now, it's just an interesting point to consider, a small but intriguing part of our through this tough landscape. The situation definitely deserves more exploration. Could underlying geological features play a role in this unexpected signal transmission? Or perhaps atmospheric conditions might be enhancing the signal's reach in ways we hadn't anticipated? Another possibility is that there's a previously unknown conductivity of the rocks themselves, allowing signals to travel in manners we haven't yet documented in science. Could these surprising geological or atmospheric factors hint at unknown natural laws? Share your thoughts, like, comment, and subscribe to explore more such together.